Watchtower from Austin, Texas was formed in 1982 with Rick Colaluca on drums, Billy White on guitar, Travis Allen on vocals, and Doug Keyser on bass, who was the one to suggest the band name. I saw the word Watchtower in a book at school, and it just kinda stuck in my head, and when we needed a name, it just fell into place. It's a little unusual, but it goes along with the idea that even in the early days, we observed and wrote about things going on in the world. After replacing Travis with new singer Jason McMaster, Watchtower would make their first recorded appearance in 1984 on Cottage Cheese from the Lips of Death, a compilation of hardcore punk bands from Texas, with the album closing track, Meltdown. There is definitely a haphazard sort of punkish energy on Meltdown, so I kinda get its inclusion on this compilation, but there's an overall thrashy presentation and an impressively technical tightness that leans the track much more into a heavy metal feel that reminds me a lot of Raven, especially considering Jason's screeching vocals.
Breakdown, warning, nuclear not a reality. Breakdown, warning. Breakdown, warning! Right now, what the virus feel? Breakdown, warning! Effects of the economic ground to life!
Later in 1984, Watchtower put out a 4-track demo/cassette EP called Meltdown, which also served as an advertisement for an upcoming full-length album titled Energetic Disassembly. After recording the album for Rainforest Records, which went out of business before it could be released, Watchtower would re-record the album and finally put it out in November of 1985 on their own Zombo Records label. Incredibly unique for the time, this album is full of relentless time signature changes, complex compositions, and highly technical riffs, along with devastatingly heavy drums and brutally thick bass lines, all competing for attention, yet somehow also still working together to create intricate, speedy tracks. There is some discrepancy on the exact release date for this album, but most sources list it as November. This puts it out a month after another prog metal masterpiece, The Spectre Within by Fate's Warning, although their approach was still somewhat on the more conventional side, with tons of atmosphere and epicness added in. So while both are crucial to the formation of prog metal, Energetic Disassembly remains the earliest example of mind-blisteringly technical progressive metal, pushing thrash into a totally new direction. while Jason McMaster's vocals are a bit on the rough side, they're also absolutely insane, channeling an inhuman combination of Geddy Lee, King Diamond, and an air raid siren. There's nothing really conventional about the songwriting on Energetic Disassembly, and yet the skill on display from everyone involved is still compelling and mind-melting in its aggressive complexity.
Come on, and you know with the Thrash!
Even today, this stuff does take a little time to sink in, and Energetic Disassembly definitely benefits from repeat listens, giving your brain enough time to try and understand what it's hearing. All of that said, there is a tendency here by the band to get a bit distracted by simply playing as hard, heavy, and fast as possible. And if you're looking for catchy melodies, this album may not be for you. But if you want to experience the origins of technical thrash and progressive metal, Energetic Disassembly is a must listen. In the fall of 1986, guitarist Billy White would be the first to leave Watchtower, putting the future of the band in doubt. He'd be replaced by guitarist Ron Jarzombic, previously of San Antonio Slayer, and Watchtower would cut 2 more 4-track demos in 1987, each featuring essentially the same new tracks. The band would get signed to German label Noise Records in early 1988 based on the strength of those demos. But Jason McMaster would leave around this time when his side project band, Dangerous Toys, got their own record deal with CBS Records. Watchtower would briefly bring on vocalist Mike Solis, but he would soon be replaced by Alan Tecchio, and this new lineup would go to Germany to record their second album, Control and Resistance. Control and Resistance follows the same general direction as Watchtower's first album, but with more clarity and precision. While Rush was also a big inspiration for energetic Disassembly, this one feels a lot closer to a Rush meets Thrash kind of sound, with intentional songwriting that takes the time to explore slower tempos, refined technicality, and jazzier moments, often found in Ron Jarzombek's transcendent guitar playing. Alan Tecchio seems to be a great fit for the band as well, keeping the same energetic vocal approach as Jason McMaster, but with a more polished delivery. Another thing that sets this album apart from their first is that Watchtower actually got a music video here for The Eldritch. The video is almost as chaotic as the music, with split screens and a variety of different colored filters. But the music is still badass, and it's nice to see the guys in action. Obviously, there were a few more prog metal bands in existence by 1989, like Queensryche or Fate's Warning, and Dream Theater had just released their debut album earlier that year. But Control and Resistance cements Watchtower's influential legacy even more. I hear a lot of bands that would come to prominence in the 90s here, like Symphony X or Devin Townsend. And I think overall, I personally like Control and Resistance just a bit more than energetic Disassembly. After a tour of Europe to promote the album, Ron Jarzombek would start having issues with his hand, requiring multiple surgeries. This would effectively put the band on hold and scrap plans for a third album to be titled Mathematics. This development would also contribute to Alan Tecchio leaving Watchtower. I left in June of 1990. There were two things going on at the time that caused my departure. Ron's fingers were in real bad shape, and the doctor wasn't sure how much playing he could do, if any. That, coupled with the fact that the band did not dig some of the lower register vocals I was coming up with for the new stuff, led me to take the gig I was offered in non-fiction. Watchtower would eventually disband completely in 1993. With everyone going off to other projects. However, in 1999, Rick Colaluca, Doug Keyser and Ron Jarzombek would reform Watchtower with Jason McMaster on vocals. While the reunion was still pretty cool, it was primarily done to record a track for an Accept tribute album, along with a couple of live dates, including the 2000 Bang Your Head Festival. Although there were still some tentative plans to get that third album out.
You guys are playing these gigs. Can you call this a formal reformation of the band, or is this just for fun?
We'll see what happens. There's talk of us doing another record, and we'll see what happens. If we do another record, the title will be Mathematics.
But the album still wouldn't happen, although Watchtower would continue to do occasional shows together, both in Europe and the States. No official new material would come out, though, until April 2010, when Watchtower would finally release a digital single called The Size of Matter, with Alan Tecchio back on vocals.
Numeric truths evaluate what we are conditioned to be. Signals, ideas, information, and messages all interlinked. Taking account of images, pushing accuracy to the brink. But errors exist when gauging reality. Glitches persist in actuality.
However, Alan would leave again after this, further delaying the complete album. Seems like whenever Watchtower try to complete Mathematics, we hit a snag, roadblock, or wall. We've reworked the material for the third time now, and I'm just tired of talking about it. It's really getting old. You guys can keep asking me, but the answer will be the same. I really don't know when the CD will be done. I really don't. We need to get the damn thing done sometime, somehow, some way, but we have over an hour of good material sitting around waiting to be recorded and released. If we can just get this vocalist situation worked out, we should be fine. The vocalist issue would remain a problem for a while, until Alan returned in 2015 for more Mathematics recording sessions, which ultimately resulted in the 2016 EP, Concepts of Math, Book 1. This 5-track EP is more excellent, weird, and thrashy prog metal from Watchtower, kicking off with what I'm pretty sure is their only instrumental, M Theory Overture. The best thing, and arguably the worst thing about Concepts of Math, is that it just makes you want the full album, which has been in the works for over 30 years at this point.
A miracle confronts us, a method to explain madness that surrounds us, the rules of our domain.
Watchtower would remain active but lay pretty low for a while after this until Jason rejoined the band in 2023 for some shows in 2024. They claim to be working on new material, but whether or not it will ever come out remains to be seen. So that, for now, is Watchtower. For your homework, check out Energetic Disassembly from 1985, Control and Resistance from 1989, and the Concepts of Math EP from 2016. If technical prog metal is your kind of thing, these are albums that you simply cannot pass up. I hope you enjoyed this look back at Watchtower, an incredibly influential group that's highly important to heavy metal history, yet seems to rarely get brought up even when discussing progressive metal bands. Again, Watchtower won't be for everyone, but I really dug these albums overall, and I hope we get to hear more from Watchtower someday soon. As always, thanks for watching, and see you next time.